Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into one of the shortest books of the Bible, the Book of Obadiah. This little book is only 21 verses long, but it holds a powerful message. Have you ever wondered why God would give a prophetic message to a nation that was on the outside of Israel's story? In this video, we're going to explore who Obadiah was, why his message was important, and what it means for us today. Stay with me until the end as we uncover some surprising lessons from Obadiah's prophecy. Obadiah is believed to be written by a prophet named Obadiah, but we don't know much about his personal life. The name Obadiah means servant of the Lord or worshiper of God, and it's possible that there were several individuals named Obadiah throughout history, but this book is specifically attributed to one prophet. The book was written sometime after the fall of Jerusalem, which happened around 586 BC. During this time, the kingdom of Judah was defeated by the Babylonians. The exact time of writing is uncertain, but most scholars agree it was during or shortly after the destruction of Jerusalem, as Obadiah's prophecy speaks about the destruction of Edom, a neighboring nation that had a long-standing relationship with Israel. Before we get into the details of Obadiah's prophecy, let's talk about who the Edomites were. The Edomites were descendants of Esau, the brother of Jacob, who later became Israel. This made the Edomites relatives of the Israelites, but their relationship was often filled with hostility and conflict. The Edomites took advantage of Israel's weaknesses, particularly during times of war and disaster, and they did not come to Israel's aid when they were invaded. This is why Obadiah's message focuses heavily on judgment against Edom. The book of Obadiah can be divided into two main parts, a judgment against Edom and a message of hope for Israel. It highlights the consequences of Edom's pride, violence, and betrayal, and it assures Israel that God will ultimately bring justice. Verse 1 to 9. The vision of Obadiah. The book opens with Obadiah receiving a vision from God. This vision reveals that judgment is coming upon Edom, a nation that had long been an enemy of Israel. Edom was located in the rocky, mountainous region southeast of Israel, and its people were very proud of their secure location. They believed their position in the mountains made them invincible, thinking no one could harm them. But God declares that despite their high and mighty place, He will bring them down. Verse 4 says, "Though you soar like the eagle and make your nest among the stars, from there I will bring you down." This shows that no matter how strong or secure a nation feels, God is the one who holds ultimate power. His judgment is inevitable. No one can escape it. The Edomites trusted in their strength, wealth, and position, but Obadiah makes it clear that their pride will lead to their downfall. In verses 6 through 9, Obadiah speaks of how Edom's once mighty forces will be defeated, their treasures will be plundered, and their leaders will be taken. Their false sense of security will prove to be nothing in the face of God's power. Verse 10 to 14. The reason for Edom's judgment. So, why is God so angry with Edom? Obadiah spells it out clearly. The Edomites had a long history of hostility and violence against Israel, but what really angers God is how Edom treated Israel when disaster struck. When the Babylonians invaded Jerusalem and destroyed the city, the Edomites did nothing to help. Instead of showing mercy or kindness to their fellow descendants of Esau's brother Jacob, Israel, they stood by and watched as their enemies destroyed the city. Worse still, the Edomites actually joined in the attack. They were like vultures circling over the fallen nation, taking advantage of Israel's vulnerability. They looted Jerusalem, took its treasures, and even captured those trying to flee. They celebrated Israel's downfall instead of mourning for their brothers. In verses 12 to 14, Obadiah describes how these actions will not go unpunished. The Edomites will suffer the same violence and betrayal they showed toward Israel. God makes it clear that what they did to Israel will be done to them. This is a strong message about how God sees injustice and betrayal, especially when it involves people who should have been allies, like Israel and Edom. Verse 15 to 16, the day of the Lord. As we move to verses 15 to 16, Obadiah broadens the scope of his prophecy. He speaks of the day of the Lord, a time of reckoning when God will judge all the nations of the earth. The day of the Lord is a theme that appears throughout the Bible, representing a time when God will hold everyone accountable for their actions. In Obadiah's prophecy, the day of the Lord will bring about the ultimate punishment for the wicked, especially for those nations, like Edom, that have mistreated Israel. God promises that just as Israel's enemies have rejoiced over Israel's destruction, so they will experience a similar fate. The pride and arrogance of the nations will be humbled, and God's justice will prevail. Obadiah reminds the people that no nation, however powerful, can escape God's judgment. The pride of the Edomites, thinking they were untouchable, will be shattered when God brings his justice. This should serve as a warning to us about relying on our own strength and forgetting the need for humility before God. Verse 17 to 21, Israel's restoration and God's kingdom. In the final verses of Obadiah, we see a message of hope and restoration. While Edom is being judged and brought low, Israel will be restored. Obadiah assures the Israelites that even though they are suffering now, there is a future where God will restore them to their land and give them victory over their enemies. Edom will not be the last word. God's kingdom will be established, and Israel will once again stand strong. Obadiah prophesies that Israel will reclaim the land once occupied by Edom, and they will become a powerful nation again. In verse 21, Obadiah declares, "The kingdom will be the Lord's." This means that God's rule will be established, and his people will live under his sovereignty, free from oppression and harm. This promise of restoration is not just about returning to the land, it's also about spiritual renewal. God will once again be the King of Israel, and his justice will reign over the nations. The hope of restoration and the coming of God's kingdom reminds Israel that their faith in God will ultimately lead to victory. So, what can we learn from the book of Obadiah today? First, we see that God cares deeply about justice. The Edomites were punished for their pride and betrayal, reminding us that God is always watching and will bring justice to the nations. No act of cruelty or betrayal goes unnoticed by God, and he will repay accordingly. Secondly, Obadiah teaches us the dangers of pride. The Edomites thought they were untouchable because of their stronghold in the mountains, but their pride led to their downfall. It's a warning to all of us to remain humble and not rely on our own strength or resources. Finally, Obadiah points to the ultimate victory of God's kingdom. Israel's restoration symbolizes God's faithfulness to his promises. Even when we face difficult circumstances or see injustice in the world, we can take comfort in knowing that God will eventually bring justice and establish his kingdom. The book of Obadiah, though short, has a powerful message about God's justice, the dangers of pride, and the hope of his ultimate victory. It's a reminder to live humbly, seek justice, and trust in God's faithfulness. Thank you for watching. What do you think about Obadiah's message? How does this prophecy of justice and restoration speak to you today? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our future videos. See you next time.